Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's weekly live stream where we talk about the makeup that has been released this week. We get to talk about whether any of us are planning on purchasing any of the makeup that has been released this week, my thoughts on them, your thoughts on them, and all that jazz. So if you are joining me live, then make sure you jump on into the comments box and let me know your thoughts on all the releases that we're going to be talking about. I'm going to share my screen with you. Hopefully this week we don't have any technical issues. I did go out and purchase a new modem yesterday. God, that was a drama. But hopefully we have some faster internet. We have some stronger connection today. So there's no glitching or anything like that. So last week was a little bit of a disaster if you did watch that. And for those of you that watched the replay, I'm sorry that it was jumping around a little bit. But hopefully this week we won't have any of those issues. If you are watching the replay, make sure you jump on into the comments on the replay video and let me know your thoughts on everything that we're going to be talking about and all that jazz. So I will give my disclaimer right now. I know I don't have to do this, but people seem to keep commenting on my videos that I'm very negative about the new video releases, and that's because that I'm trying to save money. I am trying to limit the amount of stuff that I'm bringing into my makeup collection, into my house. So that's why I'm very critical about the new video releases. Something has to be quite special for it to come into my collection, but I do let you know whether I think something may be worth my money, but I'm not going to buy it because I have so much of the same thing or something like that. But if you don't like listening to people bag out your favorite brands, bag out your favorite YouTuber because they have collabed with someone, I'm not bagging out the particular brand. I'm not bagging out the particular person. I'm just letting you know that I'm not interested in that collaboration. And also, you do not have to spend your money to support your favorite YouTuber, to support your favorite brand, to support your favorite celebrity. You don't have to spend your money to support those people. So you can admire their collaborations from a distance and not buy it. You can just watch their videos and that will support your favorite YouTuber. So let's jump on into it. Let me just make sure I am getting rid of all my pop-ups. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you. I am going to open up Instagram. There we go. You should be seeing my Instagram screen in a second. There we go. So while we're here, if you don't already, follow me on Instagram. This is my Instagram handle. I post a lot of look photos and lots of swatch photos, flat lays, and different things like that. So if that interests you at all and you want to see me between uploads, definitely jump over and follow me on Instagram. For my beauty news, I follow obviously Kat and Haley from Beauty News Official. So I follow these guys on Instagram to keep up to date with everything that's coming out. I also follow Trend Mood and Indie Mood and Indie Makeup Spotlight for Indie News. So let's... Oh gosh, I have to sneeze. I'm sorry. Okay. So I think we got up to, I think there was a few things that we skipped last week because we were very long last week. So we might start with this one here. I'm just going to mute my mic for a moment just because I need to blow my nose and I'm not going to subject you guys to that. Okay, we're back. Sorry, it is a bit chilly here this morning, so my nose tends to run a little bit when I am cold and when it's like cold morning air, so apologies. So we're starting off with the new items from Pat McGrath that are coming out. So Pat McGrath is extending her skin fetish line. She's adding concealers and some blurring setting powders to her range. She's also got a concealer brush in here. I am almost certain that she already had a concealer, but it's probably because everything is just a blur in the community at the moment. So this concealer is 36 shades. It's supposed to be a creamy, lightweight, full coverage concealer with a natural, radiant, matte finish that brightens the under eyes and hides the appearance of blemishes. So it sounds really nice. It definitely sounds really nice. If it can give like a nice coverage but also feel lightweight on the skin, I think that would be really nice, because sometimes the more full coverage concealers can feel quite heavy under the eyes and can also look quite heavy under the eyes. So I'd be interested to see what this texture feels like and how it looks under the eyes. Then we have this blurring under eye setting powder. Not much information about that, but these look almost similar to the hourglass powders. And then we have this weirdly shaped, kind of angled, smaller, more pinched brush that you use to apply the concealers. So at the moment, I am trying to weigh down my concealer collection. When I say that, it sounds like I have heaps, but I only have about 2 left in my collection. So I want to use them up first before I even think about buying another concealer. But this, I think, would definitely be something that I would look into when I am on the hunt for a new concealer, because it sounds really nice, especially the fact that it's lightweight but still full coverage. It's got a natural, radiant, matte finish. It's supposed to brighten under eyes and hide blemishes. It sounds really nice. It sounds really nice. $32 US, so it's probably going to be like 50 Australian dollars, which is pretty standard for Australian prices. Our makeup in Australia is very expensive. And then the brightening powder is $30 US. I wonder how much powder and how much concealer you get in this packaging. Not quite sure. And the shade ranges, they do look quite good. It does look like a decent coverage. I would kind of expect that from Pat McGrath, her being a makeup artist. I would expect her to have a good shade range in her products. Okay, Carolyn is here. Good morning to you, Carolyn. Good to see you again. She is saying, it does sound nice, but I have a lot of cheap concealers in my collection. It was the only thing in the range I'm interested in. I was keen to try the new Hourglass ones too, but very expensive. Yes, they are very expensive concealers, and I am a little bit like you. I have cheaper concealers that do the job. So it would have to be pretty spectacular for it to be like in my regular rotation. But I am able to deal with the cheaper ones for like my everyday concealer. This is quite expensive for a concealer, particularly I generally use the Maybelline Fit Me concealer, and I think I can get that thing for, I think it's like a $7 Australian when Priceline has their sales. So it's $7 compared to like $50. It's a big difference in price when I'm happy with the concealer that I have, but I'm still willing to give it a chance and see, because my expensive concealer that I have at the moment is the Tarte Shape Tape. So that one is quite expensive in Australia as well. So this one I think would be probably more expensive from what I remember. I can't even remember how much I paid for my Tarte Shape Tape, but it is quite like heavy. So I'm interested to feel the texture of this. And then maybe if the texture is nice, same with the powder. If the texture is nice, you get a decent amount of product, then I would consider picking it up and trying it at least. Interesting though, this brush, where is it? I don't know whether you guys saw the brush that, where is it? This brush. So this brush right here is from Zoeva. Can we see any similarities? This brush looks almost identical to the brush that Pat McGrath is coming out with. I can almost guarantee you that this brush is probably about a quarter of the price of the Pat McGrath one. So if you are interested in trying this shape of brush, this new like innovative shape, maybe go with the Zoeva one, because it's I can 100% guarantee that it's going to be a lot cheaper than the Pat McGrath one. So save your dollars and go with the Zoeva one. And Zoeva actually have really good brushes. I have a few of Zoeva's brushes and I actually really like them. For the price, I think they are really good quality brushes, and I think they're all synthetic. So if you want a decent synthetic brush, and they're a lot better than Morphe as well, in my opinion. So if you want a decent synthetic brush, maybe they do have, I can't even remember whether Zoeva have, maybe they do have natural hairs. I can't even remember. Tarte Shape Tape takes forever to go through. I think it's just under $40 in Australia. Yeah, I think it might be like $36 or something like that. I think you're definitely right there. I like Zoeva brushes. Yes, I have a few of their eye brushes and I really like them. So yeah, go with the Zoeva, don't go with the Pat McGrath. And every time I have heard someone talk about the Pat McGrath brushes in their videos, they have always said that like the quality is appalling. Like for the price that people are paying, they have said that the quality is just terrible. And when you're paying Pat McGrath prices, you expect that brush to be almost like Tom Ford quality. Yeah. Next, we have another collaboration. So this is between Milani and Salt and Pepper. I kind of like this. This is quite cool. It's good to see something different for once. So we have some lip sets and we also have some highlighter and eyeshadow palettes. So the highlighter, so these look quite similar to the, what is it? The Zodiac palettes by BH, but not as much wasted space. So I can get behind this. I do kind of like this design. To me, it looks really like color wheel-esque. I kind of like it. I'm kind of digging it. And then we have the other one here. So this one looks like it's majority, mainly shimmers. This black and white here may be matte. Let me see. Yeah, the black and the cream color look to be mattes in this palette. And then this one has a few more mattes from what I can see. And then we have a red lip kit and a nude lip kit. And that's about it. I like this. I like it. I probably can't buy it. I don't know whether Milani's like limited edition collections come to Australia. So yeah, I like it because it's different. It's a little bit different to what we've seen lately. It's a bit, what's the word? Kitschy. Like it's cool. It's cool. I like it. And not as much wasted space as the Zodiac palettes. Like to me, if the Zodiac palettes just kind of moved everything a little bit closer, they could cut the palette down a little bit, and I would much prefer them that way than the way they've designed them. So I like this. This gets the tick of approval. This one here, I'm not going to talk about this because this is a Viseart palette that has just been brought back recently. So I am not going to talk about it because it's been done and done. It's just a re-release. Oh, Fiona made it. Hi, Bettina. I made it. Hope I haven't missed much. No, I've only spoken about like 2 things so far. I ramble a lot, so make yourself a coffee and strap in. Okay, so we have 2 new setting sprays from Morphe. And one of them is in one of the aerosol packaging, similar to their continuous setting mist that they already have. Actually, yes. Is it different? Yeah, so the setting mist that they already have, I believe, is more like a luminous setting mist, whereas this is a mattifying continuous setting mist. And we also have a luminous setting spray. So the setting mist, I will say I like the idea of the setting mist, but the thing and the one thing that probably stops me from buying it, other than the fact that Morphe sells it, is the fact that it's an aerosol can, and I am kind of I'm trying to step away from using so many aerosol cans. So I don't like that fact about it. I think the packaging is really cool, how it's like a continuous fine mist, but I have a lot of like pump sprays that deliver a similar effect. Yes, it's annoying that I have to like pump the sprayer, but I can deal with it. The luminous setting spray. Let's see what the mattifying one's supposed to control oil and shine for up to 12 hours. Sweat resistant, humidity resistant, ultra fine translucent powder, works on all skin tones and prevents makeup from melting. You can get a similar effect from setting sprays. I like to use the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. When I want my makeup to like really stay in place, I use that, and I find that it does a lot of that without having the aerosol can. Then we have the Luminous Setting Spray. So it's supposed to be a hydrating formula that sets your makeup and seals in moisture, infused with coconut water, glycerin, apple extract. So I'm imagining if you don't like the smell of coconut, probably steer clear of this one because it might have a coconutty scent with that coconut water in there. Oh wait, it's tropical scented. So this also is supposed to be sweat resistant, humidity resistant, contains glycerin which seals in moisture. 16 hours of hydration. I don't know about this. This would probably, if you are someone looking for a luminous setting mist and you don't want to pay the higher price tags of, say, like the Smashbox one, which I really like, and the MAC Fix Plus, which I also really like, this would be a good option, a good cheaper option. But I'm not going to buy it because, to be honest, I don't really like supporting Morphe. So I'm going to steer clear of both of these and go with what I've already got in my collection. When it comes to the mattifying mist, I think I have about 3 bottles of the Urban Decay one in my collection at the moment. I brought one of the duo packs at Christmas time. So I have about 3 bottles. So I don't need anything mattifying at the moment. And the luminous one, I don't think it's not going to go with my skin anyway in terms of the extra hydration. My skin goes oily after about 4 hours of foundation wear. So I don't need anything that promotes it to go oily, if you get what I'm putting down. So I'm going to pass on those ones. What do you guys think about these Morphe sprays? Have any of you tried the Morphe sprays? Let me just... Okay. I'm losing my breath this morning. Don't know what's going on. Next, we have some new products from Cover FX. Now, Cover FX seem to hardly ever bring products out. I think the last thing that Cover FX brought out was those blushes, and everyone raved about those blushes. These are the new custom bronzer drops. So these are designed to basically be similar to all the other Cover drops that they have. You can mix it in with your foundation. You can use them on their own. You can use them as highlighters. You can use them as body illuminators. So it's basically like a product that you can use however you want to. You can mix it with moisturizer, primer, foundation. You can use it with basically anything that you want. So I think this was a cool idea. They only seem to have 2 colors available at the moment. So Sunkissed is for fair to light medium skin tones, and then Gilded Glow is for medium to tan and to highlight deeper skin tones. So it's a bit disappointing considering how many they've brought out in this range previously. I know every time they've brought out these custom drops of some form, they've brought out a fairly decent shade range. So it's a little bit disappointing to see that they've only brought out 2 in this shade range. I would have much preferred to see them have more than just this, like a fair to light medium skin tone and then a medium to tan skin tone, and then only deep people can essentially use this to highlight. So I don't know, what if the people that have really deeper skin tone want to have a luminous look on their skin, and it's obviously might be too light for them, a little bit disappointing. And then I can almost guarantee that this sun-kissed one for fair to light medium will be way too dark for someone of my complexion. When I use highlighters, I only can use a very, very small amount. So I can almost guarantee that this is probably going to be too dark for me. Most bronzers are way too dark for me. And I'm not even like super duper pale like most people. Like I am borderline translucent, but I know there's some people that are even lighter than me, and I think that they would really struggle to use this product. I have very oily skin too, so I think it's a pass from me. I tried the Jeffree Star pink one. It's not good, but not great for my oily skin either. Okay, that is really helpful to know, Carolyn. Thank you. I nearly like broke my golden rule, and I nearly picked up that Jeffree Star one as well, because I smelt it a few times in Mecca, and the smell, I was like, oh, I'm very, very tempted. It smelled so good, but I'm glad I didn't pick it up now, especially if it didn't work for your oily skin. Yeah, so this, I'm not going to buy it. I don't think I would get much use out of it anyway, even if I did buy it. So it would be a waste of money for me. And like I said, I don't think that this lighter color is going to work for my skin tone at all. Your daughter loves it though. Okay. I think it would be a very nice experience having that, like spraying that on your face every morning, especially with the smell, because that pink one, I will agree, it smelled so good. Next, we have some new cheek palettes from Benefit. These guys seem to be bringing out a cheek palette like every second week at the moment. So this is a 5-pan cheek palette. First thing I'm going to say with this palette is I wish that they would get rid of these stupid brushes that they put in these palettes. I cannot stand these brushes. I don't know a single person that uses these brushes. So I wish that they would get rid of these brushes and put an extra shade in there. Like take that out, put another shade in there and be done with it. So this has Dallas, Sugar Bomb, and Georgia. These three are blushes. Let me just make sure so these three are blushes. Hoola is the bronzer, obviously, and Cookie is a highlighter. Cookie is an absolutely stunning highlighter. I really like the blush Dallas. For me, with pale skin, I think it looks really, really nice. Georgia is a blush that they've only just recently launched. It's like a peachy, glowy color. Hoola, we all know what Hoola looks like. Sugar Bomb, I can't say I've ever used Sugar Bomb, so I can't quite comment on that one. I like the combination is in this palette. I probably would prefer if they had maybe a light, medium, and deep version of it and swapped out the Hoola color. Hoola takes me forever to get through because it is a little bit too dark for me. So I have to use a really light hand with it. So I would like to see maybe them do this kind of palette style, but swapping out the Hoola colors. So put Hoola light in there, maybe Hoola and then Hoola dark, and swapping out maybe some of the blush colors for blushes that show up a little bit better on the deeper skin tone. Then we also have a mini Cheek Stars mini reunion tour palette. So this has a Hoola, Sugar Bomb, and Georgia, and these are mini sizes. I would probably much prefer to buy this palette than the other one. This one here, I think that these guys are full size in this palette, whereas this one here are just minis. So if you want this version or any of these in a mini, maybe pick up this palette, and then it would make a really nice kind of travel palette. You've got a blush, a bronzer, and this one you could probably pass off as a highlighter, like a peachy highlighter. So I like this mini palette, the larger one. Like I said, I wish that they would do different color tone variations and not just assume that every skin tone can use all of these colors on their skin. I don't even know if these, I can't even remember. I don't even know if these palettes come to Australia. I don't know whether I've ever seen them other than at Christmas time. Like these ones that they bring out during the year, I don't even know if I've seen them anywhere in Australia, like throughout the year. That palette looks nice. They are normally great value, but I brought Cheek Leaders bronzer one last year. I'm not in the need for more for quite a while. The mini looks better. Yeah, I agree. The mini looks better. And yeah, if you've purchased one recently or in the last couple of years, you won't need to buy another one for a very long time, particularly because they tend to repeat the colors in these palettes quite a lot. They repeat them quite a lot. It's good to see, though, at least Georgia is new and Cookie is fairly new. So a lot of people may not have Cookie, but I do know that I think last year, or maybe it was a Christmas before, they brought out a palette like this, and that was the first time we saw Cookie. So yeah, they just keep repeating these over and over again and just kind of swap out the shades. So if you have one, you're most likely to probably get some form of double up in another one if you're going to buy like a second or a third version of any of their cheek palettes. Cookie highlighter is nice. Yes, I love Cookie. I actually have Cookie in the full size. So I think it is a beautiful highlighter. It's quite intense, but I love the tone of it. And I just think it looks really beautiful on the skin. So definitely agree with you there. Liked it so much I brought the full size. So we have some new products from Good Molecules. These are the caffeine energizing hydro gel eye patches. I tend to not really use products like this. I have a jar similar to this of eye patches from another brand. I don't even know what the brand is called. And I hardly ever use them. I always forget to use them. So this kind of thing is not really for me. I definitely do understand the advantage of them because I love keeping them in the fridge, and when I put them under my eyes, like the cooling effect and just the way it feels under my eyes is really, really nice. So I understand the hype and like the reason for them, but I just hardly ever use the ones I have. So I don't need another set of these anytime soon. This is supposed to depuff, smooth, and hydrate the under eye area. It's got caffeine, niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, tetrapeptides in it, aloe vera. It's supposed to help reduce inflammation and leave your eyes looking and feeling rested. It sounds cool. It sounds really nice, like a nice formula. I'm not quite sure about this niacinamide. I'm very cautious about niacinamide at the moment. I'm still investigating ingredients, but my eye cream that I have at the moment is upsetting my eyes and I'm not quite sure, and I think it might be the niacinamide in it, but I'm still investigating. So at the moment I'm very cautious about eye related products because of my sensitivities at the moment. My eyes just get really irritated. So yeah. I like the idea of Good Molecules. I don't like a lot of their packaging because a lot of their packaging has that like pipette style of packaging. And I'm not the biggest fan of that kind of packaging. I just don't think it seals the product as much as it should. And the one that I have, or the one that I had, I got it in my lucky bag, not this year, but last year. The pipette broke off the packaging within a couple of uses, and then for the remainder of using up the product, it just kind of sat on the top. It wasn't completely sealed. And I don't like that because as soon as the products get exposed to air and the ingredients get exposed to air, they start changing. So if the packaging is not sealing properly, your products are going to degrade really quickly. So I just wish that, yes, it's a really cheap, decent brand, but I still think that they need to do decent packaging to make their products last and keep the formula stable for as long as possible. Sounds amazing. My eyes need all the help they can get. Yeah. My only issue with Good Molecules as well, though, is the fact that they're a Beautylish only brand. I understand that they are like produced by Beautylish. So everything from them, like you have to factor in the exchange rate and pricing of shipping and everything included. So by the time you do all that, it doesn't make it as cheap as they promote it to be, just with the way the exchange rate is at the moment. And I think that you could definitely get products like this from brands that are already readily available in Australia without having to factor in exchange rates and shipping and all that jazz. Okay. We have a new collection from Colourpop. So Colourpop have collaborated with Sailor Moon, and by golly gosh, people are going insane for this collection. I can almost probably guarantee that this collection is already sold out. It launched on Thursday the 20th at 10 a.m. PST. I can almost guarantee that this is probably most of this collection already sold out. I think that this collection's cute and it's pretty, but I wasn't overly drawn to buy any of it. I wasn't the biggest Sailor Moon fan. I appreciated the show, but I never religiously watched it. So I don't have that draw that a lot of people had to buy this. The palette's really nice and it's pretty, it's whimsical. Then we have some of these glitterily obsessed glitter pots, which I definitely don't need these. We have some lip duos. So we've got the Moonlight bundle and the Daylight bundle. I like the packaging, how they've got the moons and stuff on the cap and on the packet here. They've changed the color of the writing on the packet to keep with it. These, though, if I was going to buy anything from these collections, I would buy these blushes because these imprints in the pan are absolutely adorable. And the colors are quite nice too. I would probably get a bit of use out of these colors, but I'm not overly drawn to buying any of this. I know a lot of people are. It's cute and all, but it's not for me. And there's no way that I was going to wait in that Colourpop line to buy any of this because, like I said, there was a lot of popularity about this. So many people loved it because they love the show. So I don't know. I think that this is a sign, though, that they might continue the collaboration with Sailor Moon. I would imagine that there may be more collections coming out with the different characters from Sailor Moon. So we'll see where this goes. But I'm assuming we might see more from the Sailor Moon and Colourpop collaboration. I would assume that if this is really popular, they'll probably extend it to the other characters from the show. It's cute. It's well executed. I think they've done the packaging really well. Unlike a lot of collaborations where they just throw the picture or the name on the box, they've actually committed to making the colors a little bit more Sailor Moon-esque, matching more of the colors in the show, like putting the imprints in the pan. So they have taken it one step further and then just putting a brand on the box. So I do appreciate that from Colourpop. Fiona says this is cute, but I don't need it. 100% agree with you. Next, we have a new primer / spray. So this is the photo finish primer sprays that actually, is it a spray? I don't think it, maybe I think I'm making things up now. Is that a spray bottle? Let's roll it. Okay, stop. I thought that this was a spray, but now I'm not sure. So this is another skincare infused makeup item. So this is the Photo Finish Primer, Vitamin Glow Primer, infused with vitamins B, C, and E to help revitalize, hydrate, and prep skin for makeup. So it is a lightweight water gel formula. It's supposed to instantly hydrate, soften, and nourish skin, packed with good for your skin antioxidants and birch water, cruelty-free, vegan, and gluten-free. I'm not going to lie, I really like the sound of this. I don't know why. Whenever I see like vitamin C, my brain is instantly intrigued. And I think that Smashbox do primers really, really well. I think that they have kind of nailed it when it comes to primers. And they've got a lot of different types of primers as well for a lot of different skin tones, skin types, and skin concerns. So I am really intrigued by this. I want to feel the texture. I want to see how it feels on the skin. I want to smell it. I am very intrigued by this product. I don't know why. I don't need any more primers, but like I said, as soon as I hear like Vitamin Glow Primer, my brain was like, yes, I need that. I want to try it. I need it in my life. So I probably will buy this at some point in the future because I'm very intrigued by it. I want to feel the texture. Like, I want to see what this lightweight water gel formula is supposed to feel like. I'm very intrigued. Is that supposed to be, is that the 2nd of July that this is coming to Australia, or is it the 7th of February? I don't know whether this date is written Australia date-wise or whether it's written America date-wise. I'm assuming it's probably America date-wise and that it is the 2nd of July, which is ridiculous. Like, US is getting it in February and we're like 6 months behind. How ridiculous is that? Poor Australia, like us in the Asia Pacific, we just get left behind in everyone's dust. Look at these dates. That's ridiculous. So at least by the time it comes to Australia, from the look of these dates, I might actually be finished all my primers. Oh God. That right there is one thing that I hate about the releases, like global releases. I hate it. Like, why does it take 6 months to get to Australia? That's absolutely ridiculous. I'm interested. If it brightens my skin, I'm in. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm intrigued as well. I love like brightening. Like, give me anything brightening and I'm there. I wonder what it smells like. Yeah, I'm imagining probably something vitamin C, like something citrusy, because generally that's the kind of route they go when it comes to brightening stuff. It's generally something citrusy, or maybe like pineapple-y. It would depend on what the ingredients are for that vitamin C as well. Will probably depend on what it smells like. I don't need more primers either, but I agree Smashbox do great primers. Yeah, I think Smashbox have just like nailed it when it comes to primers. So this is on my list. I'll let you know in July if I've picked it up. I can't get over that. That's just ridiculous. So we have some more eyeshadow palettes from Victoria Beckham. So this is the Smoky Eye Brick range with silk. So this is obviously the silk palette. I wanted to actually, I'm going to jump on over to, I think it was Trend Mood had a photo of this, but I just wanted to basically rage about this. Well, I'm not going to rage, but this is absolutely absurd. And I know people have talked about this before, but look at the size of this palette. This palette is so tiny. It is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous how small these palettes are. And for the price, I've heard that Victoria Beckham Beauty is really nice, and I've heard that these eyeshadow palettes are really nice, but god damn, they are so small and they are asking so much money. And this right here, where there's no like actual dividing definition between the pan, they like sit right next to each other, drives me crazy. Like, Hourglass got absolutely dragged through the mud for doing this exact same thing. How long ago was that? That was like 6 years ago or something, with their weirdly designed palettes where it had the wave through it and they didn't have any clear definition between each color. Hourglass got absolutely dragged for that. And I feel like Victoria Beckham, not much has been said about the fact that these don't separate. As soon as you start using this up, they're going to like crumble and flake into each other, and I just hate when brands do this. I wish that there was just some form of like dividing line between them, like just a little like metal or plastic divider between them. I think the reason though why she's done this is because when they do it this way, they don't have to add more plastic to the packaging. Her brand is more, environmentally friendly. I think a lot of her products you can buy refills for and put into the palette. So I think that might be why she's done this, because maybe down the track she's thinking I'll have refills available for her eyeshadows and it would be easier to just pop this one whole pan out and replace it with another one than having people buy individual pans. It still drives me crazy. It still drives me crazy. Victoria Beckham is a brand that I would love to try, but I don't need that palette. I've heard great things. I think because there aren't pans, it holds far more eyeshadow than standard pans. Yeah, and that's a good point as well. Let's face it though, how soon are any of us going to hit pans soon? I agree, but I don't. I think a lot of people that are buying this are the kind of people that would probably only have a couple of eyeshadow palettes. I know a lot of people are buying it because they like Victoria Beckham, but I think because of the price range, that this might be the kind of palette that a person only has like maybe one or two from her range and that's it. So I think that they may hit pan, but they're so tiny. They're so tiny. I just can't get over it. Yeah, I need to look into Victoria Beckham Beauty more because, like I said, I think that she's trying to do that whole like refillable thing and reduce the amount of like plastic and packaging that her brand is producing. I think she's really trying to focus on that. So I want to do a little bit more research into like how she's doing that. If that makes sense. Okay. New product from Bobbi Brown. So this is the Skin Longwear Fluid Powder Foundation. This is their first ever liquid to powder foundation that self-sets into a comfortable soft matte finish. So this is formulated with power protein complex to help skin look smooth, healthy. It's lightweight, sweat resistant, controls oil, stays color true all day. Keeps skin protected on the go with environmental blue light and UV filters. This like environmental blue light UV filter thing, I think that is going to be an absolute craze and focus this year in 2020. I don't know about this liquid to powder formula. Every time that I have tried a liquid to powder or a cream to powder formula, I haven't really enjoyed the way it's looked on my skin. So I'd be interested to once again feel the texture of this, see how it sets down. I will say about Bobbi Brown's foundations and a lot of most of the cream products, the foundation that I tried way back when was so heavily scented. And I feel like she does that, or the brand, Bobbi Brown doesn't actually own Bobbi Brown anymore. I feel like the brand does that with a lot of their like foundation products. They just scent it way too much. And I struggle with overly scented face products, particularly ones where the scent doesn't like dissipate over time, or once it's like set down, it doesn't like go away. And I felt like with the foundation that I tried from Bobbi Brown, it was quite prominent for most of the day. So anytime Bobbi Brown brings out now foundation type products, I always like really proceed with caution, because it was a lavender scent as well, and it was really strong and heavy. So I would proceed with caution when it comes to Bobbi Brown if you are scent sensitive like I am, particularly like when it's on my face. Like when it's on my face and I'm putting foundation like around my nose and under my nose, and I can smell it for like quite a long time. Oh, I can't stand it. And I don't think it's necessary. I don't think we need to have like really strong lavender scents and different things in foundation type products. I just think it's a little bit weird. What else was I going to say? Yeah, and also comparing this liquid to powder formula with the lightweight. Every time I've used a cream to powder, I feel like it's just felt so heavy and cakey on my skin. So I would be interested to see whether this lightweight claim stands up when it's a liquid to powder formula. Oh, let's see with shade range. This shade range is woeful. That is the darkest color that they have in the range. And that is barely darker than this arm here. And this arm is not the deepest. I would say that this is like a medium to deep skin tone. That's a bit woeful. I'm very disappointed. And only 28 shades as well. I think you can easily have 28 shades but have a good variation between them. But when this is the deepest color, it's a bit disappointing. Very disappointing. And these look very similar to each other. Just like different undertones. Yeah, very disappointed in that shade range. Very disappointed. Okay. We have some new sponges from Dose of Colors. Some of these are very interesting. So we have the Seamless Beauty Sponge, which is jumbo size, which I believe is this one. Then we have the Sculpt and Shape the Seamless Beauty Sponge, which is this one. And we have the Pen Point Seamless Beauty Sponge, which is this one. These are very interesting shapes. I haven't tried any of the Dose of Colors sponges to know what the texture feels like, whether they're really hard or whether they're too soft. But I don't know whether this is really necessary. I don't know whether we need a million different shapes and sponges. I think that you could easily do what they are saying you can do with this one, with this point here and this point here. I think the whole point behind this like pen point sponge is that the point is like for getting under your eyes. You can easily do that with both of these. So I don't know. I think that these are just a release for the sake of a release. I don't know whether we really need different shapes of sponges. Trying to like reinvent the wheel and missing the mark, I think. I don't know whether this is necessary. Next, we have a new sunscreen from Dermalogica. So this is an SPF 30. It's supposed to be 100% blendable, 100% physical, and so it's supposed to be a weightless broad spectrum sunscreen made for all skin types, including sensitive skin. It's supposed to blend easily on all skin tones, help defend against UVA, UVB, and blue light, and it's supposed to soothe all skin tones. I like the fact that this is a new, like another physical sunscreen. For those of you that don't know, the chemicals in chemical sunscreen aren't the best for your skin. So definitely if you don't have any sensitivities to anything that's in a physical sunscreen, I would recommend going the physical route. What was I going to say? But they do tend to be a lot thicker, and they're generally quite white, so you do have to work them into the skin quite a lot. I'm really intrigued by this. I don't know whether I would switch to this particular one. Dermalogica can be quite expensive, but can you get Dermalogica from Mecca? I think you can. So maybe I would consider switching. If I can get this from Mecca or somewhere easy, maybe. I would imagine it's probably pretty expensive though, being Dermalogica. But it's good to see more physical sunscreens are readily available in stores, like physical brick and mortar stores, as well as online. So I like it. It's good to see. I don't know, would I buy this? Maybe. If I can get this, like when I go and do my restock from Mecca, if I can get this from the counter, maybe I would consider getting it. Like when I use up the sunscreen that I have, when I go to restock and it's there, I probably would give it a try. If Mecca has it, you could get a sample. That's a genius idea. That's genius. Yeah, actually, you make a really good point. Maybe I'll go. Does it say when it's coming? I'm gonna have to. I'll look on Mecca and see if they. Oh, it's coming on the 31st of March, so in about a month's time. So I probably will be finished my SPF around that time, the one that I have at the moment. So I definitely might get a sample and I'll try it, see if I like it. If I like it, I'll pick it up. Okay. We have more unicorn products from Lime Crime. This is their upcoming Fairy Garden collection. So we have some lid lights, which are these like pressed shimmery shadows. We have some body lights, which are these ones. I don't know, some cherry glosses, which are these ones, the wet cherry glosses. Then we have some unicorn hair and some unicorn hair star mist, that's the hair star mist and that's the unicorn. I thought they already had these colors in their collection. I'm not quite sure. These body lights, it looks like it's a nail polish bottle, whether it's got a pump on it or whether that's it. I wouldn't buy any of this. I'm not going to any festivals anytime soon. I don't feel like dyeing my hair blue or purple as much as I would love to. I think my boss would probably fire me if I turned up with blue hair. These are cool. The hair, what are they? The hair star mist. So I don't know whether so it's glitter, pewter glitter and gold glitter. So maybe not, because you can just get them from Hair House Warehouse. And then these guys, I'm not really interested either. And then a green body and a cherry and gold. I'm not interested in any of this. I just don't have a place to wear it, so it's not really for me. If I was probably still 18 or 19 going to festivals, probably, but past that. Here we have the Browsings Leica Pro palette. I'm actually kind of surprised that Benefit haven't brought something like this out already. So this has it comes in, okay, so we have a light to medium and a medium to dark. This is similar to the brow, is it the brow book that the Anastasia Beverly Hills have in their brow powders? So it's a portable brow palette that includes long-wearing brow powders to fill and shape brows, 3 waxes to sculpt and define, 2 flattering high-pigmented waxes, and 1 clear wax. So I think these 3 here are the waxes, and then we have the powders here. I don't think the everyday person needs this. They definitely don't need this. $68 for one of these palettes is quite expensive. Like I said, I'm surprised that they haven't already brought something out like this for like the pro makeup artist. I think that this could be really good if someone is a pro artist and they like using powders on people's brows. I think it's a really good idea. But I think for the everyday consumer, I don't think they need this. I don't think they need this many colors. I don't think they need this many waxes. So I think it's a really good idea. And I think there's definitely a market for it. But I think the everyday consumer doesn't need it. But if you have a makeup kit, I think that this could be really good if you like using powder products and waxes on your client's brows. Ooh, this collection. Certain aspects of this collection remind me a lot of another brand. So this is the Makeup Revolution glass. What is this called? Their take on the glass skin trend by fusing K-beauty trend with makeup. So we have lots of glass products. So we have some eyeshadow palettes. These 2 eyeshadow palettes look really nice, but I've been burned by Makeup Revolution before, and I always proceed with caution when it comes to Makeup Revolution now because their swatches look fantastic and the way they perform, in my opinion, is not the same. This palette down here with these purples and these like shimmery pinky colors looks beautiful. This one here, not so much. I don't tend to wear a lot of silvery, like gray tone shimmer colors. I just don't like how they look on my skin. So this one at the bottom here is pretty cool. This packaging reminds me a lot of the NARS, was it Christmas Just Gone? I think they had packaging like this with like this almost shattered glass 3D effect look. Yeah, reminds me a lot of NARS. Then we have some, are these supposed to be highlighters or are they supposed to be, yes, so these are highlighters in 3 different colors. These remind me a lot of the Luna Beauty. What are they? The Luna Beauty highlighters. I forget what they're called. Are they called Moon Dust or something like that? Particularly this one here, because I think his packaging is like iridescent white. So this one here reminds me so much of the Luna Beauty packaging for his highlighters. These just look like the same thing but a different color. And then we have these guys, very similar to products like from Smashbox and what's that other brand that has them? Highlighter drops and different things like that. I mean, it's a cool looking collection. It's quite modern, but it does look very similar to packaging from other brands that have come out very recently. So yeah. I don't think I'd buy anything from this collection. I don't really have a need for any of it. The packaging's cool, but there's not a need for me to buy any of it. Maybe the Dewy Fixing Mist, but that's probably about it. Oh, so there's a Glass Glow Fix Dewy Fixing Spray and Glass Shimmer Fix Iridescent Fixing Spray. That is a mouthful and a half. I would be very cautious of these, particularly if they have shimmer or glitter in them, whether the formula mixes well, if it comes out the spray well, if it doesn't clog up the sprayer, and if it doesn't leave like chunks of glitter on your face. I would be a bit worried about these doing that on my face. These guys look absolutely beautiful. These are from Zoeva. So these are the light multi-use face powders. I'm not going to buy these because when they're swatched, they look quite boring, but in the pan, they look absolutely beautiful. They've got like this kind of ripple of different color in there. It looks absolutely beautiful. And the swirl in the palette, stunning. But when they're swatched, it's very meh to me. These are supposed to be so you can use these on the eyes, face, and body. So they're like an illuminating powder. But we have metallic raspberry rose with pink and purple, metallic gold with golden pearls, and metallic bronze with silver and bronze pearls. So I would definitely have absolutely no use for these. I don't need any more highlighters, and none of the colors I really like. I think that they would probably be too deep for my skin tone, but in the pan, golly gosh, they look beautiful. It's one of those cases of it looking really beautiful, but when it comes to the execution and how they work on the skin, it's a bit meh. I don't think we don't really need to talk about a lip scrub. We can't even get Milk makeup in Australia at the moment, so not even going to really worry about that one. This one, I'm on the fence about how I feel about this one. I think it's a cool idea though. This is the new Urban Decay Inked Brow Longwear Brow Gel. I think this is similar to the, I forget what it's called, the one from Anastasia Beverly Hills, where it's like it's almost like the liquid pomade in the pot with the doe foot applicator. This is similar to that, whereas this actually has a like brow brush on the end. So I love that instead of having something like a doe foot applicator, they've actually gone with a brush that you can use to apply it to your brows. I think for travel, I think that's a much better idea. Then you don't have to be taking something extra. I don't know. I think that this should be a little bit shorter, but maybe the way that the product is. Oh, we also have, what is this? This is the Brow Beater. Is this new? So this is a micro brow pencil and brush on the end. So everyone has these in their collection. Wait, is that what? And it looks like we have a brow blade, which is I don't know whether this is already in the range or whether it's new. This is like a felt, like a brush tip brow liner pen and the pencil on the other end. I like this idea. I think that could be really cool, especially if you want to have like those hair-like strokes on one end and you want to like fill it in with the other. I like that idea. I think that this collection is really good. I think how Urban Decay, they're kind of taking something that's already existing and putting their twist on it and trying to make it a little bit different to what's already out there. I like this inked brow. I like the idea of it. Not sure, it would depend on how much product you pull out and how long the product lasts for. If you're going to be mixing though, this is the other problem, particularly I don't know if any of you have ever used like a clear brow gel, and then after a while, the brow gel gets all gross and manky. If you're mixing this with like a powder, so if you put like a powder through your brows first and then you add this on top, the product inside could get quite gross. So that would definitely be something to think about. Obviously, every brand needs something like this, but I have a feeling, I don't know whether these are new or whether, yeah, I don't know. I think that these might be existing, the brow beater and the brow blade. I think the only thing that's new is this inked brow. Not sure. I think the brow blade is existing. Yeah, I have a feeling the brow blade is existing, and I'm not quite sure about the beater. Maybe it's just the blade. I'm sure one of them is already existing. So this is more like a brow gel. So it is, from what I understand, it is, where is it? Oh, wait, no, it's not at the top. Yeah, so it is a brow gel, but it is colored. So I would imagine you can basically do both with this. It's similar to, let me Google it. That product from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I can't remember what it's called. Let me. I just think that the execution of this one is a little bit better than the one from Anastasia Beverly Hills. No, I don't want to get off this. Eyebrows. What's it called? The dip brow, no, not the dip brow gel. Is it the dip brow gel? Maybe it is. I thought they had one with a doe foot applicator. It must be the dip brow gel. Yes. So it's like the dip brow gel from Anastasia Beverly Hills. The Anastasia Beverly Hills one has a spoolie, whereas the one from Urban Decay has a brush. So if you want more definition and you want to be able to do more like your hair-like strokes, you're going to be able to do it with this brush. Whereas the spoolie, you're kind of just more brushing it through the brows, from my understanding. Smudge resistant and sweat resistant for up to 60 hours. Who's wearing their brows for 60 hours? That's ridiculous. To create your desired shape with the brush, and even if you have sparse brows. Yeah. I'd be interested to know how much product comes out on this brush though. It may pull too much product out. Anyway, moving on to the next one. This is the new collection from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. You guys know how much I love this brand. I almost purchased this collection. If it wasn't limited edition, I probably would buy it, but I think at the moment it is a limited edition collection. These look beautiful. They are a pastel gold duochrome collection. So basically the shift is gold colored, and then the base color is like some form of pastel. They're beautiful. These are beautiful. The foil formula from Glaminatrix Cosmetics is absolutely stunning. I am really excited to see where this brand goes this year. I just think that she has a really, really good formula. Like I said, I've almost brought this so many times. So it is $60 for the set of 6. So $10 each for her foil formula is pretty good price. I just think that they're beautiful. And if I had a spare $60 at the moment, I probably would have purchased them. But in saying that though, I think that she has gotten a bucket load of orders, especially since the girls from Beauty News shared this on their Instagram page. I think that they are getting a crap load of orders, and I'm concerned about how long it would take to get my order as well. So generally she usually has about a 6 to 8 week turnaround, which is quite long, but she's only like a one person brand at the moment. So it's fair enough. They're just so beautiful. And now the thing that's turning me off is the fact that it's kind of getting to the point where I would almost be at the bottom of the pile for this particular collection, and it would take quite a while for me to receive it in the mail. So yeah, almost brought it, but I didn't. But I do think it's a really stunning collection. Fiona says, I agree. These look beautiful. They definitely do. She's done well. She's done well with this collection. If it wasn't limited edition, I probably would have picked it up to add to my huge Glaminatrix Cosmetics palette that I have. This is a new product and a new formula from Linda Halberty Cosmetics. This is the Interstellar, which is a liquid eyeshadow in the color Collision. So Collision is one of the colors that she had in, I want to say it was the Christmas metallic palette that they brought out, I think not last year, but the year before. This is really pretty, but I don't know whether it's for me. I'm kind of going off liquid eyeshadows, and I'm wondering whether this is a little bit too late. I think that they will still get a lot of orders because there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of die-hard Linda Halberty and Linda Halberty Cosmetics fans out there. So this product will probably sell out when it initially launches. But I don't think it's for me, and I think for me it's a little bit too late to the market. I'm going to show you, I think there was a photo. Where did I see it? This photo doesn't really show. Let me open this up. Okay, so the swatch on the left is not blended out, and the swatch on the right is blended out. So you can definitely get more of a built-up effect to it instead of just this almost wash of glitter. I definitely think it's pretty, but like I said, for me, I think it's a little bit too late. I've kind of gone off my liquid eyeshadows. I don't really use them all that much anymore, and I do think it's pretty. The color's nice. You could probably layer this over a lot of different eyeshadow colors, eyeshadow formulas, just to add something extra to it. I just think it's a little bit late to the market. And I'd be interested to see how long the formula lasts. I know a lot of people say that their Stila Magnificent Metals are starting to dry out, or if they have the minis, they are dried out. So I'd be interested to know how long the packaging keeps this stable for. I don't know whether you can see. You can see, but it's like a very loose glitter when it's blended out. I haven't seen any photos where it's quite built up on the eyes like in this swatch here. So yeah, I would be intrigued. If it's really nice when it's built up, maybe I might get it. I'm a glutton for punishment. It would be really nice if it was really thick like that. A really nice gold metallic eyeliner. That would be beautiful. Okay, there's only a few extra things on Trend Move that I wanted to talk about. One of them being these new products from Smashbox. So we have the Halo Fresh Perfecting Powder Foundation. We also have the Halo Glow Highlighter Duo. Now, one thing I did want to say with this particular product. So talking about this perfecting powder, this perfecting powder seems to be one of those grinder type products. Like the powder is in like a solid cake and you've got to twist it to basically grind it into a loose powder. I really don't like these kind of products, the grinder type products. I just feel with the grinder, the powder and the particles of the powder end up almost being too big. And I know like when you kind of work it into your brush, you can almost like break it down a bit. But I just don't enjoy it. It's just too much work for me. I would rather either a pressed powder that I can just brush my brush into or a loose powder. I don't want both in the one and I turn the press into a loose. Yeah, I just don't like it. I do get the idea it's more compact, and when it's a solid, it's not flying everywhere. So if you accidentally knock over a loose powder or turn it upside down, the powder goes everywhere. Whereas this, because it's in a cake, it's just going to stay together. But I don't know. I just have never really liked the idea of these like powder grinding, powderizing system. I've just never enjoyed it. And the sound of it grinding, I can't stand the sound. It's gross. And then we have there's two of the highlighter duos. They each have a different texture, so that's between the two colors in the palette. There's a bronze medium and a champagne light. I think that there should be a darker one again. I don't think that this is enough. Champagne light and bronze medium. I think there should be another one that's darker again. I'm just looking at this pan here and I'm just wondering whether this might be a cream. Because it looks like there might almost be a flap over this one here when you look at it. So I'm wondering whether maybe it's a cream. I don't know why there would be this if it wasn't a cream. I don't know, or maybe they just don't want the powders to mix. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I'm intrigued by this product. I'm not going to buy either of these because the colors don't draw me in. I don't like this grinder system. So I'm not going to buy either. They are quite expensive. So $46 US for the highlighter duo and $55 for the powder. So I'm not going to buy either. Yeah, I don't know. They just seem a bit meh. These remind me of the what is it? The Steeler Kitten, and I forget what the other color is, but the duos in the highlighter. That's what these remind me of. Let me just check if there's anything else new on Trend Mood. I think, actually, so NARS are coming out with some new single eyeshadows, and these are a pressed pigment. I don't know what the point of these is. They remind me of the, what are they? The Australis metallic pots. That's what they look like. Or similar to the, what are they? The Colourpop Super Shock shadows. That's what the pots look like. They look not cheap, but they just look very similar to something that you can get cheaper. And the colors don't interest me at all. They look quite wishy-washy. To me, when I'm getting a pressed pigment, to me that means that I'm getting like more color payoff. But these look quite, I guess some of these, like these glittery ones, could be really nice, but I don't need any of these. I've already got them in like other formulas from other brands. So it's not something new that would draw me in or entice me to buy them specifically from NARS. And the NARS price tag would definitely turn me off. because NARS for some of their products is way too expensive. Way too expensive. Just scroll down and see. Okay, I think there's just this guy up here. Where is it? Where'd it go? This one. These look beautiful. Not gonna lie. So these are from Makeup Revolution. These ones at the back here remind me so much of the Cover FX blushes. How they have like a more matte one on one side and a shimmery one on the other side. They even had a texture in the pan very similar to this. This doesn't look like it is clearly split though. They look like they are buttered right up against each other. So I guess if you wanted to have a shimmery blush, you could swirl them together. If you wanted just a matte, you go on one side, shimmer on the other side. This here looks a lot like, is it Stila? I think it's Stila that have the baked blushes in the trio. So this looks like a very big copycat collection. The packaging is really, really nice with this like pearlized finish on it. But I don't think I'm going to buy any of it because I can't really get behind the blatant copying. I like the idea though, but this one's cool because it's got like bronzer, blush, and highlight in it. So it'd be a good like travel palette because you can have the mattes and you can have the shimmers or you can mix them together. So it's well executed. I'll give them that, but I'm not going to buy it. Fiona says, I would much rather spend $60 for the Glaminatrix set rather than NARS singles. I totally agree with you. I would much rather probably spend $60 on most indie brands at the moment than buying eyeshadows from mainstream brands. Speaking of indie brands, oh gosh, I cannot spell today. Speaking of indie brands, let's jump on over to Indie Makeup Spotlight because there are a few cool indie releases coming out at the moment. I think we spoke about most of that last week. So I'm going to start here. Actually, maybe I spoke about this last week as well. I think I did because it was with Mermaid Hair. Yeah, I think I did because I said that I don't need any I don't think I need any more colored highlighters. Did you say Cover FX? I have one of those blushes. The Cover FX blushes. Yes, I said that those split pans looked like the Cover FX blushes, and the domed pans looked like I think it's Stila that has that palette. There's someone that has a trio of baked blushes, bronzer, and highlight. I think it has in it, and I think it might be Stila, but those blushes definitely look like the Cover FX ones. Yeah, Revolution does copy, definitely. And maybe it is Bare Minerals. You might be right there. Actually, it might have been the Bare Minerals Christmas palette that had them. I think you might be right. I cannot remember for the life of me, but I think you're right. I think it might be Bare Minerals. So M Cosmetics has come out with 3 new matte eyeshadows. And these are, we have a lavendery, purpley color, like an orangey, pumpkin-y spice color, and a navy. This navy is grabbing my attention. It's beautiful. All of these actually look really beautiful. They swatch really nicely as well. I think M Cosmetics is a Canadian brand. They are on my list of brands to try. I would like to try M Cosmetics at some point. Maybe when they have, actually, it says it right there, $8 Canadian each. The Canadian dollar and the Australian dollar is actually quite good at the moment. They're quite equal. You don't have to end up shelling out too much extra money to get the Canadian products, although I haven't checked it recently. Last time I was buying something from a Canadian brand, it was fairly equal. Haven't checked recently though. So I would definitely consider buying something from M Cosmetics maybe sometime this year. So these might end up being something in that order because I love navy at the moment. God knows why, but navy, I probably would skip out on both of these because I already have a color very similar to this from Cleona Cosmetics. And then this color, I have a few different ones. I think I still have, I think it's Makeup Geek Peach Smoothie, I think it's called. Or maybe it's Creme Brulee. One of those two, I think, looks quite similar to this. And then I have a few other brands that have colors similar to this that I already have. So I wouldn't need to buy this one or this one. I definitely already have navies, but I'm on the hunt for like the perfect navy blue. And this looks really nice. So that might end up being in my cart when I do make an order from them. Menagerie Cosmetics have released their soft focused setting powder. So this is $16 each, and they have 7 different shades. And I like the fact that they have come out with so many different shades. We have translucent, cream, banana, peach tree, honeycomb, lavender, and chocolate silk. It's nice to see that they have come out with almost like color correcting colors in their powder. I like that they have released a large range of colors in their powder instead of just releasing a translucent color, which doesn't end up being translucent on a lot of skin tones. Translucent on really deep skin tones still shows up, and it does make their skin tone quite ashy. So it's good to see that they have different colors in their powder. I like it. I really respect it. Love the packaging. Love that they've called it camouflage and put a little, what are these called? Is it chameleon? Chameleon on the packaging. Love it. I think it's really cute. Speaking of cute, how adorable is this collection? So this is the new Bitter Lace Beauty Candy Coated Collection. And the imprints in this pan are like those little, what are they called? Are they the Be Mine lollies or the Love Heart lollies that have the little sayings on all of them? How cute is the little imprints in these pans? Adorable. Love it. You can get these for $20 each, which is very pricey, or you can get 6 for $100. These are highlighters, so they would be the larger size. That's probably why they are on the more expensive side. I would only use these as eyeshadows. I probably wouldn't use them as highlighters. So I would much prefer if they made these available in a smaller pan size and reduce the price, because for $20, I would imagine that they are the larger pan size. But the imprint in the pan is absolutely adorable. Some of these shades, some of these colors are beautiful, and I think they would make stunning eyeshadows. Oh, here we go. They're actually highlighters and come in a 44mm pan. That is so much product. Even for a highlighter, that's a lot of product. So these are huge, absolutely huge. And like I said, I wish that they would make them available in a smaller pan size. And I wish a lot of indie brands would make their highlighters available in a smaller pan size. Just one, so it can fit in eyeshadow palettes a lot better. You can still use an eyeshadow pan size as a highlighter. I don't know, me and I know a lot of people tend to use smaller brushes to apply their highlighter anyway. So it doesn't need to be a huge 44mm pan. You can still use what are the standard size? I think it's 23mm, 22, 23, something like that. Those sizes, you can still fit a highlighter brush in them. So I don't think it needs to be so big. I don't think anyone's going to go through a 44mm pan of any of these colors. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think any of these colors, in my opinion, are like super wearable on the everyday basis. But they're super cute. If they were in a smaller size, I would definitely consider buying all 6. If I could get them in the smaller, like standard size eyeshadow pan size, I would consider picking them up because I think that they're adorable. And the colors are really nice. I think they'd be great eyeshadows. The last thing that we're going to talk about is this new palette coming out from Gimme Glow Cosmetics. And I'm excited for this. I'm excited. So this is the new 9-pan eyeshadow palette that's coming out. We don't know anything about it yet other than the fact that it is called Extra Spicy. So I'm hoping that there's going to be some absolutely beautiful like shimmer shades in here. This might be maybe the first thing that I buy from Gimme Glow. Maybe. Actually, I keep forgetting this, but I'm almost certain that I put Gimme Glow on my list of brands that I want to try in 2020. Let me have a look. Yes, they are on there. They're on there. So I'm going to buy something from Gimme Glow at some point this year. I have no idea what yet. Might be this palette, might be something else. The one thing I will say about Gimme Glow, though, is I find that they have pans that are too big. And when I say that, let me show you. A lot of their... Oh, do we have the inside? Or we just have... No. Just the look of the packaging. A lot of their pans are the bigger size. Here we go. So their eyeshadow palettes have the larger, the 44 mil that we were just talking about sizes. And I don't think it's necessary. Like, we don't need eyeshadows that are this big in an eyeshadow palette. I would much rather them reduce the size of the eyeshadows in the palettes and put more in it. So if they're halving the size of these eyeshadows, that means they can get double the amount of eyeshadows in the palette. So I would much rather them stop doing the massive pans in their eyeshadow palettes and put them in the smaller size, because no one is going to go through these size eyeshadows. I've heard amazing things about their formula. I've heard amazing things about their eyeshadows. I just can't commit at the moment because all their eyeshadow palettes seem to have these huge eyeshadow pans in them. And I would rather them like reduce the size and have more in it than have these larger ones and have more of the one color. What's this? Is this a highlighting palette? See, even these are too big. This looks like a nice palette though. Very pretty. Yeah, I know a lot of people get turned off by buying palettes from brands when they have those really large eyeshadow pans in their palettes because it takes forever. Carolyn says that would take forever to go through. I'd wear them as eyeshadows, not highlighters. Yeah, I'm the same. I wouldn't get any use out of those ones. Let me go back. I wouldn't get any use out of those ones if I only used them as highlighters. They would like sit rotting in my drawer if I only used them as highlighters. These guys. I probably would use them maybe once a month, probably not even that. I think some of them would be really nice inner corner highlights, but that's not using it as a face highlighter. And I wouldn't use them on my body either. Like they wouldn't work on my body as a highlighter. So I'd only be able to use them as an eyeshadow. Whew. Okay, I think that's everything. We have gone through a lot of stuff today. Let me just go back to the news. Let's just make sure. Okay, nothing has been announced while we've been here. That always seems to happen. Something gets announced while we're on live. So yeah, that's it. Let me stop sharing my screen and you can get my full face now. So that is it for this week's weekly live stream. It was a long one again. But yeah, if you are here live, make sure you give it a big thumbs up before you go. If you're watching the replay, thank you very much for watching the replay. And also make sure you give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. If you're new here and you haven't already, I hope you would subscribe down below. I do these weekly live streams weekly, like I just said, but generally every Sunday, unless something else pops up. But I'm generally here most Sundays around this time, around 9 to 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So if you can make it live one day, I would love to have it. I would love to have you here, and you can jump on in the comments box and sound off as we are going through and let me know your thoughts on everything. But yeah, without further ado, that's it. I hope you all have a fantastic week. I will see you in my regular scheduled videos this week. And if I don't see you between now and then, I'll see you next Sunday. I hope you have a fantastic week. I hope you have a fantastic day. And I will see you next Sunday. Goodbye, everyone.